In this video we take a look at double knitting. Stay with me and I'll show you how. Double knitting is where we work two sides at once in stockinette stitch. It makes a double thickness fabric, and using two colours we can make patterns which are reversible on each side. This is a great stitch for coasters, scarves, reversible hats, anything where both sides will be on display. We work in pairs of stitches in two different colours. We'll call this purple colour A and the pink colour B. Working odd rows, we work colour A from the front side and colour B from the back side. And when we turn our work, we work colour B from the right side and A from the wrong side. There are many different methods of casting on and off and working the sides. In this video I will demonstrate what I feel is the simplest method for each one. So let's get started. We hold both our yarns together and with both yarns make a single slip knot. We slip the loop onto our needle and we're ready to cast on. We take thumb and forefinger and put them in between the two yarns, the other fingers holding on to both yarns. This is very much like the long tail cast on, doing one colour knitwise and one purlwise. Pick up the loop over our thumb, pick up the loop over our index finger, pull it through the loop on our thumb and pull the stitch tight. We pick up the stitch at the base of our index finger, coming up and over the loop at the front. We come under the loop on the thumb, bring it through the loop on the finger and pull the stitch tight, and our first pair of stitches is cast on. We pick up the loop over our thumb, pick up the loop over our finger, bring it through the loop on our thumb and pull the stitch tight. Pick up the stitch at the base of our finger, coming up and over the loop at the front, coming underneath the loop on the thumb, bringing it through the loop on the finger and pull the stitch tight. Under the loop on the thumb, over the loop on the finger, pull it through the loop on the thumb and pull it tight. Pick up the stitch at the base of the finger, coming up and over, under the stitch on the thumb, pull it through the loop and pull it tight. Under the stitch on the thumb, over the stitch on the finger, pull it through the loop and pull it tight. Under the stitch on the finger, under the stitch on the thumb, pull it through and pull it tight. We carry on picking up stitches in pairs until we've cast on our desired number of stitches. For my pattern, that's 19. Now I've cast on 19 pairs of stitches, and if we've done this right, our colour should be alternating all the way along. So we shouldn't have any two pinks or two purples together. Now we're ready to knit our first row. For our first and last pairs of stitches, we're going to knit both together. We knit the first pair of stitches together using both yarns. And from the second stitch onwards, we start knitting the stitches separately. Our first colour in the row is purple, so that's the colour we're going to knit with. So we come through the first stitch, picking up only the purple yarn and pulling it through. Now for the pink stitches, we're going to purl those. We bring both yarns to the front of the work. We pick up the pink stitch and purl it using the pink yarn. We come to the purple, which is a knit, Bring our yarn to the back and knit the stitch with the purple yarn. Bring both yarns to the front, pick up the pink stitch and purl with the pink yarn. We carry on along the row, knitting the purple stitches and purling the pink stitches, moving both yarns to the back for knit stitches and both yarns to the front for purl stitches. Carry on until the final pair of stitches. And when we reach our final pair of stitches, we knit both together using both yarns. And that's our first row done. To begin our next row, we knit the first pair of stitches together using both yarns. And now we're knitting the pink stitches and purling the purple stitches. So I knit the pink, bring both yarns to the front, purl the purple, bring both yarns to the back, knit the pink, bring both yarns to the front, purl the purple, bring both yarns to the back, knit the pink, bring both yarns to the front, purl the purple. We carry on along the row, knitting the pinks and purling the purples until the final pair of stitches. And at the end of the row, we knit the final 2 stitches together. With just 2 rows done, we can already see the different colours on both sides. Now let's start adding in our pattern. Here I've drawn up a heart pattern, which is 19 stitches across. We have empty boxes. This will be knitted in our front side colour. And we have X's. We will knit this in our reverse side colour. In our first pattern row, we have 9 in the main colour, 1 in the pattern colour, and 9 in the main colour. We start our row in the same way, knitting 2 together using both yarns. That counts as our first stitch. Now we need to knit the next 8 pairs. Knitting the purple and purling the pink. Keep going until we have 9 pairs of stitches. And when we've done our 9 pairs of stitches, we're ready to change colours. We come into the purple stitch and we knit with the pink yarn. Bring both yarns to the front and we purl the pink stitch with the purple yarn. Bring both yarns to the back and we can see we have a pink stitch on our purple backdrop. The rest of the pattern in this row is worked in the normal way, knitting the purple and purling the pinks. And when we reach the end of the row, we knit the last 2 stitches together using both yarns. Now let's start the second row of our pattern. The next row of our pattern has 8 stitches in the main colour. This time the main colour is pink, 3 in the reverse colour and 8 in the main colour. Once again we begin our row by knitting the first 2 together and we need to work 7 more pairs of stitches to make our 8 stitches. This time knitting the pinks and purling the purples until we have 8 pairs of stitches. And now that we've worked our 8 pairs of stitches, we work our pattern knitting with the purple and purling with the pink for 3 pairs of stitches. And when we've knitted the pattern, we carry on along the row, knitting the pinks and purling the purple until the end of the row. Knitting the final 2 stitches together. We carry on along the rows, knitting our pattern, changing our yarn colour accordingly. Now we've finished our pattern and knitted to the length we want, and we want to bind off. We're going to bind off in pattern, knitwise for the purple and purlwise for the pink. And instead of beginning the row by knitting the first 2 together, we're just going to knit the first stitch and purl the second. Knitting the purple with the purple yarn, bringing both yarns to the front, purling the pink, and bring both yarns to the back. And to begin casting off, we pick up the first stitch on our needle and bring it over the second. We knit the next stitch, pick up the first stitch on the needle and bring it over the second. Bring both yarns to the front, purl the next stitch, bring both yarns to the back, pick up the first stitch and bring it over the second. Knit the next stitch, pick up the first stitch and bring it over the second. Bring both yarns to the front, purl the next stitch, bring both yarns to the back, pick up the first stitch and bring it over the second. We carry on along the row, knitting the purples and purling the pinks, casting off the stitches as we go. And when we come to the end of the row, we knit the final purple, pick up the first stitch, pull it over the second, bring both yarns to the front, purl the pink, pick up the first stitch, pull it over the second, we snip the yarns and pull those both through the final loop. We can then weave in the ends, and that's how to do double knitting.